You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming. Some of you me on Twitter, The Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Echo, TJ's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Oh yeah, oof. Bit of a doozy this episode's probably gonna be, so we shall see. It seems like that evil alternate side of Chase seems like it's almost taken hold of him now, so alright, let's see where we end up in this episode. He's gonna go after Flynn. Oh, had Leo been avoiding me all week? Hadn't even noticed. Oh, well, that's alright. I was wondering why he hadn't texted me. I'd been missing you. Ah. Leo's ears flatten and I see a look of shame across his face. You could have texted me too, you know. I don't want to bother you. I could tell you weren't all that happy. Leo lets out a big sigh, letting his shoulders droop. I'm sorry, Chase. I guess I just felt kind of shitty after what Flynn did, and he just kind of went quiet. Scratched the back of my head. Yeah, I can't deny that he kind of ruined the vibe for the whole trip, but I really should have called you afterwards. I'm sorry. My dad did call me into work every day, so I guess it would have been hard to work things out anyway. That sounds familiar. He's still making you work weekends too? Usually, yeah. Leo looks past my shoulder into the motel room. Anyway, when I texted Jenna, it sounded like something was wrong. I guess she's already back in Pueblo? I shrug. Yeah, I think the tension got to her in the end, and she took off early. She was complaining about Flynn the entire time she was here. Leo lets out another big sigh. Great, he's been acting strange too. Oh yeah? I silently hope that the wolf isn't going to ask to be let in. Yeah, driving around acting all shady. That's actually what made me want to visit you, see if everything was okay. Carl isn't even responding to me. I'm good, just tired and stressed out. Is Tej here? He's actually hanging out with an old friend in Peyton right now. Once he comes back where you're going to start driving back, was actually in the middle of a nap. Oh, sorry, you wanted to get back to that then? I smile guiltily. Yeah, that would probably be for the best. Don't want to nod off on the road, you know. Of course. Leo looks back at me hesitantly. Listen, I know this is probably going to be our last time getting together before we all split off, but I'm going to try this again in the future, maybe over the summer when you don't have school to worry about. I just feel like we left a lot unsaid. It doesn't have to be everyone. Maybe this time I'll just tell Flynn not to come around. I smile back at Leo. Yeah, that sounds good. I think that'd be a great time. Leo smiles back, looking genuinely relieved and happy. Ah, that's so good to hear, and I'll be sure Dad knows that I want the week off. Good luck with that, and I'll let Tej and Jenna know. Thanks, Chase. Leo stands there for a moment, then steps forward and gives me a hug. I hug back tightly before letting him go. I stand in the doorway until Leo's van pulls out of the parking lot, heading in the direction of the highway, probably on his way to work. Once he's gone, I deflate, feeling as if that one conversation had been equal to hours of hard labor. Still, watching him go, I get a sense of sadness, like that was the last time we'd see each other the way we are now. I stumble back to the bed, almost falling before I catch myself on the edge with both paws. I stare at the square patterns on the comforter, feeling a little sick. For a moment I hear whispers coming from the dark bathroom, but I don't even look up to see if I can see that figure in the mirror. I wish I'd closed the door, but I'm not going near that place again. So I just curl back up on the bed, facing away from the bathroom, closing my eyes. I'd gotten bored of skipping rocks pretty quickly. Leo was so good at it, he could skip them over the water 5 times before they sunk. Even Jenna could do it. Aw, Jenna's adorable! Leo's adorable! Oh, they're so cute! Mine would splat once and sink like the stones they were. After Leo laughed at my last one, I glared and decided to go farther down the beach where no one else could. I like how it's done in a different style. Everything looks brighter, everything looks happier, more sunnier. Like, I think this kind of would match the perception of a kid's perception of their childhood, or a person's perception of their childhood. You know, things seem cheerier, nicer, brighter, more colorful, vivid. Everything felt warmer, I guess. Just happier, simpler. Anyway. Oh, after Leo laughed at my last one, I glared and decided to go further down the beach where no one else could go. Hey, not in the way of the rocks. You're gonna get hit. Oh. Leo telling me to be careful only made me more angry, and I cut through the water, far below the surface so they couldn't see me. I go back in the direction where we came from, wondering if Sydney and Toby are in the shallows, that I might be able to surprise them. When I come around the curve in the beach, I see that they are in fact in the shallows. But I can tell immediately that something isn't right. Toby's flat on his stomach in the water. Sydney is sitting on his back. Toby has just enough room that his head barely sticks out of the water. As I poke my head up, I can hear the cat sobbing. Sydney isn't saying much at all. He's got a strange look on his face. It's something I've seen before, like that time he'd covered Toby's mouth and nose where he had him pinned down and we had to pull them apart. That's the same look when he'd thrown a dirt clod with a rock in it at Lynx's head. Like that was determined, almost empty, but completely fascinated with what he was doing. Almost like he liked it. Something about this situation scared me, though. The other times we'd been there to help separate them or stop Sydney from going too far, but now it looked like he was trying to kill the cat. Every now and then a wave would slosh over Toby's mouth and his nose, and he'd yell and struggle frantically, begging Sydney to get off. But Sydney just sat there, enamored with his own cruelty. He was going to kill Toby, just like he killed his dad. My vision blurs as I go under and speed toward them. I leap out of the water to knock Sydney off the Lynx as hard as I can. Sydney falls back in the water before quickly pushing himself back up. I see the look of horror on his face. Not at what I'm about to do to him, but because he got caught doing something bad. Not just bad, but weird and scary and something that no one should ever do, not even if you're a kid. I don't think he could ever explain why he liked doing it. That look imprints itself in my mind. TJ runs off. I don't know where to. I tried to get Sydney to tell me what he was doing for a while. I don't remember exactly what happens, but I get angry. I throw a punch. It misses and hits him in the throat instead. He lets out a hard cough, reaching up with both paws to clutch at his neck. He manages to stumble to his feet without using his paws. His Lucho Lobo swim trunks wetly clinging to his legs. I don't give him a chance to stand for long. I tackle him again and grab his head, shoving it underwater. He scrambles frantically. I feel a dark satisfaction in my chest at the way I can hear his screams through the bubbling of his exhaling breath. I finally let him go after a good 10 seconds, and he comes up, gagging and choking. He starts to scramble away on his paws and knees before getting up. I see snot hanging from his nose and chin as he stumbles, snorting out water, and I can tell he's about to cry. You tried to kill me! I'm telling Leo, you tried to murder me! So that was it. For some reason, the way he immediately tried to put that on me. It was then that I believed he was trying to kill TJ. Maybe not even on purpose. Maybe just waiting for it to accidentally happen. I don't know. But now he was going to make everyone think I'm a murderer, even though we all knew he did it. He stumbles away and I go after him, grabbing him. He's trying to kill me! His voice is weak and so is his body, especially in the water. I poke my head up to the waves in front of the otters. Otter, move! We're gonna hit your head! I shrug my shoulders, dipping under the water again so that I can hug myself and tremble alone. Again, time passes in a way that I'm not familiar with. 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 hours pass when my phone starts to ring. There's something ominous about it. Something I can't explain, but I feel it deep in my bones, like the aches in my joints. I open my eyes and see my phone just a foot in front of my face, vibrating over and over. I see the blank contact image on the screen with the name Julian under it. For a moment, I wonder why I have his number, why I have his name attached to it. And I remember it's because we'd exchanged numbers during the scavenger hunt, so I could call him to meet up. Slowly, I reach out and press the green button to answer. I raise it to my ear, waiting, but only getting silence on the other end. Hello? Hey, Chase? Julian's voice sounds hesitant, like he's not really sure about what he's doing, like he doesn't know me. Yeah? Hey, so something happened that I thought you, or at least someone should know about. I slowly sit up, the blanket falling away from my shoulders. What's up? Well, TJ spent the night over at my place after what you did. Julian's voice takes on a hard edge, and for a moment I'm not sure what he's talking about. I remember the forest and what happened there. For some reason, the thought doesn't create that horrible empty guilt. For some reason, the thought doesn't create that horrible empty guilt I felt yesterday. In fact, I feel nothing. Anyway, we got him a bus ticket back to CCU, and we were hanging out till the departure time, which was an hour ago now. Yeah? Well, that lizard guy showed up, Flynn. He showed up at my house. I don't know how he knew where I lived, but I think Janice told him. My heart skips a beat. Anyway, he wanted to talk to TJ, and eventually TJ told me that I could wait inside, so I did. After a while, when I looked, they were gone. Gone? Yeah, and so was his truck. I'm pretty sure TJ went with him, but I don't know. They were both acting really strange, so I don't really feel good about it. TJ won't respond to my texts either. I see. So, since your number is the only one I have from their friend group, I thought I should tell you so you can let the others know too. All right, I'll do that. All right. There's a pause, but I'm already getting up, looking for my keys. I'll probably check things out for myself before my shift today. You know where Flynn lives? I can tell that the Buck doesn't really trust me with this information, and why would he? I don't care, though. Yeah, he's on Shefford Street. Janice will be Janice will be able to point out where it is for you, but I'm heading over now. Let me know if you find anything out. I will later. Bye. I feel my heart rate picking up speed as I finally find my keys under my backpack on the table. I snatch them up and jog out of the motel, the heat of the afternoon sun coming over me in a wave. I realize then how late it is. I've been in the motel for nearly a full day, but to me it felt like only a few hours of that. I should be on the way right now, if not already back in Pueblo. But I realize that none of that matters now. As I sit down in the oven-like heat of my car, I see it staring at me from the back seat. I'm not afraid of it, at least not right now. It means that I'm on the right track, I think. I'm doing what I was meant to do. I know where Flynn and TJ are. He probably thinks it the best place to get the truth out of TJ. His truck sits there in the small parking lot alone, gleaming in the setting sun. I pull up right next to it and look inside. Empty. I park and shut off the engine, jumping out and jogging toward the faint trail through the sagebrush. I know exactly where to go. Instead of turning right like we did yesterday to get to the boulder, I take a left. I haven't been on this part of the beach in over a decade, not since it happened. I know this is the right direction, though. Soon enough, I see the bend on the beach that turns into the shallows that we've played in so many times. I also see an odd set of tracks leading in that direction. Flynn's footprints, not hard to recognize with their long, clawed toes. There's another pattern next to them. They aren't footprints, but drag marks, like Flynn had been dragging something next to him. I pick up the pace and start to run, breath catching in my throat, that feeling of not being able to turn back looming over me like a dark fog. The water and sand around me is starting to tinge a soft red with the setting sun. For a moment, I wonder what would happen if I stop. What if I turn back instead of turning this corner? I know that my life will turn out very, very differently if I do. That thing in the mirror at the town, it told me so. But I feel like I'm on a set of train tracks cutting through the desert with no alternative path to speak of. I've been on this track ever since I decided that I needed to protect TJ. As I turn the corner, I see them immediately. TJ is sitting on the beach, his knees drawn up to his chest as he stares downward. Flynn is standing over TJ, his paws on his hips, looking down at the cat. It looks like he's been thrown there by the lizard, and I finally feel rage replace the anticipation and fear. It's finally going to happen, and now I want it to. Hey! Flynn immediately whirls around, eyes wide as he spots me sprinting toward him. He takes a step back as I get closer, but I skid to a stop 10 feet away, glaring at him as my paws clench into fists. What the hell are you doing? I scream at him, wanting to let him know just how pissed I am. It feels good, finally not being afraid or worried about what's going to happen, because now I know there's no other option. Finn looks taken aback for a moment, looking me up and down before he straightens up. He hasn't forgot what happened between us yesterday, and I can tell that he's afraid of me. I was like, yeah, I'm going to drink some water real quick. Okay. We're back. Okay. Get the fuck out of here, Chase. This isn't about you. You fucking bet it is. I look at TJ, and he's gone back to staring at the ground, expression vacant. What are you doing to him? I'm not doing anything to him except asking him some questions. About? You know exactly what about. He's trying to confirm your secret. Get away from him. I say each word with deliberation, taking a few steps closer to the lizard. Flynn steps back again, but only with one foot, and he doesn't back away further. You stay the fuck away from me, Chase. And what the hell have you been doing this whole week? Flynn seems to grow a little more confident with that. What do you mean? I stop and cross my arms, waiting. What I asked yesterday, and after what happened to Carl, I think I'm owed a fucking explanation. I feel the anger rise up even more in my chest. You want an explanation of the shit you've been pulling? Flynn once again looks taken aback by my anger. The hell are you talking about? My paw moves to my pocket. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That fucked up scavenger hunt that you sent us on. That you started with Carl. Flynn gapes at me. What? I feel some of my resolution dissolve as the lizard's face looks completely bewildered. He's lying. Anger swells up once again. Quit fucking lying to me. I know what you did and I know what you think happened. Flynn steps forward. Chase, get the fuck out of here. This isn't about you. TJ's telling me what happened. Look down at TJ, again at the vacant stare. What did he tell you? Leave. This isn't about you. Flynn walks up to me, giving me a hard shove in the chest. I stumble back. Really? I feel my paw reaching into my pocket as if of its own accord. I grasp the note, even though my nerves fail me as I'm pulling it out. It seems to happen on its own. And what the hell is this? I unfold the note, ripping the old paper in the process. But it's intact enough when I present it in front of the lizard's face. Flynn's brow furrows in confusion for a moment before he takes it roughly from my paws. He stares at it, eyes scanning the page as if looking at it from all angles. Finally, his eyes flick up to look at me. What the fuck is this? He whispers hoarsely. I look straight back at him, waiting for the expression of familiarity, the guilt, the knowledge that that piece of paper is his own doing. But instead of what the mirror promised, I get shock and confusion instead. Just like that, I feel my determination break down. It was as if something had been driving me to this moment, and that cloud covering my brain breaks for a moment. For a moment, things are clear, and I'm left in a daze. I don't... What is this? His voice turns up into a scream, and it's such a horrible sound that I stumble back. He holds the paper up, showing me, and I stare as if I had never seen it before. Like the other notes, this one is a crude drawing. On the far left of the page, a small stick figure with lynx ears is kneeling on a bench, surrounded by clams and starfish. He's covering his face, tears falling to the sand below. Extending out from the beach, poorly drawn waves spread across the top of the page to represent the lake. Far below the waves, two figures are connected near the bottom of the page. One has X's for eyes, his legs and arms splayed out, tiny little bubbles coming up from the mouth. Below that figure, another sits below him, grinning mischievously, holding the drowning stick figure down by his tail. As if the picture wasn't descriptive enough, the words and arrows label the characters. Toby sitting on the beach, Sydney dead in the water, and Chase holding him down. I looked at the drawing so many times before, but now to have Flynn be the one to show it to me. But he had to have been the one to draw this. Who else could have done it? But here he was, standing there in a state of shock just like me. But I could see his expression very quickly morphing into fury. All my plans to confront him, to figure out how he found out, are thrown out the window, because he just found out. I'm completely unprepared, and conveniently, the presence that spurred me on has left me as well. It's only now that I realize how stupid this all was. It's like I've been tricked. Chase. Flynn's walking toward me, and his expression is like nothing I've seen before. Chase. Alright. I'm gonna pause it right here, y'all. We've got a confrontation coming in the next episode, I think. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get off right now. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks or a tip if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!